back to the shed.
Welcome back to the shed. Dude, zero escape. We're back.
There's zero chance of escape.
Do you think we'll ever escape from zero escape?
Why are we even trying?
Why are we even trying?
Like, bro, just give up, bro.
Let's give up, bro. Dude. Oh, you know what? We're gonna escape right now. When Junpei and June headed for the elevators, sure enough, there was a card reader bolted to the wall next to the left elevator.
That was so organic.
True. I'm second better at this. He wound up at the Saturn key card and swiped it through the reader. Kaboom! A light of the upper left corner blinked to life. Great. Looks like it's working now.
Alright, now how do I call the elevator?
Press the button, idiot. There was a single button on the right of the elevator door. Press the button.
Oh!
On the phone was the upside down triangle.
You're
the
so
universal
smart.
symbol for down. There didn't appear to be an up button. Junpei pushed it. He didn't have much of a choice. Ding! Oh.
We're gonna go in here without anyone? There's only one way down.
And we about to go down, you know what I'm saying?
Are they stupid? It opened! Look, Jumpy!
Oh yeah. Jun's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety. Sweet, it opened. Let's get going. He grinned at June and stepped towards the open door. But as he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm. Oh boy.
Wait.
Spit it out, bitch! What?
I'm not really, I just... Oh, gosh.
Oh man.
Myself.
Junpei was it something of a loss. Could she possibly be so frightened of? Or what could Bowser? June was probably afraid of. Okay. Please say, please say the top one. This is like the only scene I know from this game. It is priceless. After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had to be nervous about being locked up in such a small space alone with a boy.
Obviously.
In a way, it was kind of cute.
Bro.
Very demure, you could say. He thought, demure.
It's a French word.
Still, even though it wasn't exactly groomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against
Say
one
groomy?
another. Groomy.
No, he's gonna be grooming in that elevator.
At least they didn't have to be. Still, it was making her nervous. He couldn't help but think how innocent she was. Come on, let's go. Again, he stepped towards the elevator. And, again, he felt himself restrained.
I said, wait a minute.
Why?
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy?
Afraid of what?
Well, I've never,
Done it with a guy.
She never been in an elevator with a man alone before? Even so, she still seemed awfully alarmed.
I might get wet.
What the fuck?
Oh, this scene. Oh, what?
Down there. I'd get soaking wet.
This has to be a misunderstanding, right? Like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works.
I know what she's mean.
Yeah, I never.
But,
I just got it. Okay.
I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
That's true. You don't mind
Mind what?
getting wet?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it.
Yeah, almost sounded like a Fumi.
Yeah, he's going into it.
Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave.
Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know? What happens, happens, right? If you get the chance, you're just gonna go for it. That's what a man's supposed to do, I guess.
You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
I'm really scared.
Yeah. I mean, well, like you said, you've never, done it before.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll be able to last very long, and then it'll be over.
Oh, God. This is so good. Over?
Yes. I'll go to heaven.
Heaven?
It feels kind of like you're floating in space.
Oh my god.
Your mind gets all fuzzy, like when you pass out. At least that's what I've heard from people who've experienced it.
I've heard that too. Although, I don't think the same thing happens to guys.
What?
Huh?
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets into your body, the same thing happens to everyone.
Well, I mean, usually it doesn't, go inside the man. I mean, generally.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice.
Oh my god.
Your body will force you to swallow some of it eventually.
Well, what are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not gonna do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
How much longer are these innuendos going?
Was that really how it happened? Occurred to Junpei that perhaps that was how it worked. Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. Jun seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror.
I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20,
Finally, she's done.
even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and then the water would get into your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you drown and you pass out.
Oh,
Sorry. Finally, Junpei understood. He understood that June was trying to say and what she was or why she was so scared. Yeah, you're right. He wouldn't last very long.
What's so funny?
She was afraid that the only elevator button pointed down. What a perfect scene, honestly. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on.
You said I'm sorry so fast.
Yeah, no, because my dad was... You sounded pretty mad, so... I was waiting for that scene to happen. I've been waiting for this the whole goddamn game. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase.
wait, was that your dad?
In the background? Yeah, he said my name.
Okay, I thought it was Chris, like, doing a joke.
Yeah, no.
Chris got that impression down too good that Jack.
No, all of which meant
That actually happened again.
that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks.
He did it.
I don't understand why that scene was even made, I'm not gonna lie. Those four below the one they were on, the D deck, should be completely submerged. That means... Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yeah, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it stopped.
Yeah,
And then it opened.
exactly.
Yes.
So you okay? So take a look inside. Junpei jerked his head towards the interior line of the elevator. Interior of the elevator, what the fuck? It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right, they are.
She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed. Oh, she's so embarrassed. Well, let's test it.
Test it?
Yeah, watch this.
Wow.
Junpei put the foot of the elevator and bent around the corner of the door until he could see the 4 buttons. And they did this! There are only 2 E and C. Brian just can't even laugh anymore, just
I can't.
just
It's
crying.
too funny.
He pushed the E button and Junpei jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. I just hate how that scene happens. I just don't even acknowledge it. They're just like, yeah, that's what she meant, and then they move on. A few moments later, they heard the sound of the elevator door grinding when several floors below opened. I can't read. Junpei nodded to June
He's so
and
scared.
pressed the elevator button again. My dad scared me so bad. A few moments later, the elevator returned. Whoa. The door slid open, and just as Junpei had expected, there was no water to be found. See? Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest. Just a little bit. Junpei, however, still looked confused. The fairies.
What does that mean?
Oh, that was my alter ego.
The E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water.
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E-deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you. He pulled out his notebook, oh, that noise, and pen and sketched out a rough illustration. Wow, what a rough illustration. Hey, June.
What's this?
You see it. Yo, what do you got in your mouth?
Jumpy.
Huh? I got my mouth full.
Why the ship hasn't sunk?
We're fucking gross.
Oh.
There was like in this, bro. Sorry.
The shape of the water inside keeps it all from filling with
His
water?
saltines are so bad, he had to break character.
He's always a fucking
It's
bad.
so-
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. My saltines are pretty good though.
Lucky you, bro.
Look at you, bitch.
No, I was eating meat. There's something like in this, bro. I don't think it's like.
Jim began to you talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pocket. How big are his pockets, bro? So I'm gonna go down and check it out.
Mm.
Wow.
You stay here, alright?
You're so brave. But
Come on, just do it, alright? He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, then hopped into the elevator. Hopefully we find Snake, he pushed the E button and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as if she was trying to make a decision. And suddenly...
Snake.
I'm coming with you.
Oh! At the last possible moment, June dashed forward towards the side, turning sideways, just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors. Impressive timing. Junpei jammed his finger against the open button. But it was too late. The door had shut, he and June were in the elevator, and it was headed towards the E-deck.
Oh, God.
Oh, June, you silly woman. Nah, we ain't losing nobody. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E-deck. You know, no one's gonna die in this game. The elevator stopped.
We're on the nobody dies route.
Yeah, who was that, Chris? The elevator stopped and they all walked out. And they stepped off onto the floor outside the elevator. Bingo. Nothing seems especially unusual. No fish going about their fishy business, or a jellyfish floating lazily through the water. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Stronghold.
Yeah, for real. There was, however, a blowfish? Nah, at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out, and her mouth was a tiny, intense frown.
Mm.
Bro, why you? Oh, knock it the fuck off, man. Don't be moaning like that in the elevator. Oh, you know, it's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here. And June looked around nervously. And then,
The fuck?
what the fuck?
Ha!
Exhaled. That was so
Oh,
exhale.
she's holding her breath. Are you serious?
Dude, she is so fucking stupid.
You're right.
She really thought the water was invisible.
Flooded at all.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks?
Oh my god, the same thing that would have happened if the ceiling broke on any other floor. Junpei thought about that for a moment. Well, we'd probably get really wet up there.
Huh?
You start lactating.
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can once we're done.
I
looking.
don't get it.
Oh, can you, yeah, around down here. Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Okay, good idea.
Junpei glanced around the room they'd found themselves in.
Cuckoo.
The first thing he
Bro's a baby.
The first thing you noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one. Well, we can go through over there. Can't go over there. Yeah,
Right.
We can't do that. Very strong distinction.
Can't do that.
Yeah, we can't. Then perhaps
Just to clarify, we can't.
we can. Yeah, guys. That's actually a serious mess up. In the corner of the room that housed the elevator, Junpei found an opening.
What's wrong with your eyes tonight, bro?
I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm reading so bad. He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner. A long, straight hallway stretched out in front of him.
That door's the end of the hallway. There's something written on it.
What's in your mouth?
Again? Yeah, let's go have a look. Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip. What brisk clip? Weird. Somewhere between a run and a jog. I don't know what that means. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. Number 6! Holy crud, another door. I knew it.
It's a numbered door.
Not number 9, though. And indeed, there was a red bolted onto the wall right next to the door. Bingo! What's his name now? Of course, with only 2 people, there wasn't much they could do with it. Alright, let's head back.
Yes.
No. Junpei and June turned and headed back to C-Deck.
No.
On their way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall.
Oh.
As it turned out, it was a burnt map of the ship's interior for E-Deck.
Wow.
Wow!
It's so big.
Oh, what are you talking about?
The map of the Soviet Union.
What the?
From 19...
Oh yeah! In 1912, they invented this map. So, you guys found door 1. They met back up with Santa and Lotus. Chris is back. Who would explain what they found?
God.
C-Nash and C-Nash. Apparently, there was another numbered door on A-Deck, just like the one on E-Deck, beyond the door that the Earth key. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a number 1 on the door.
Oh, I guess I'm not back. You can just explain for me, huh?
All told, they had discovered 2 new doors, the 6th door and the 1 door. Now you're back.
It
Loaded.
E-Deck wasn't flooded.
Hey, someone.
Oh,
We'll just quiet for a moment, lost in thought. Yeah? Sorry. Well, we don't really know if all E-Deck is safe. We only checked the area. No,
Wait,
only
what?
checked the area around the elevator.
Well, this is awkward. Even so, it's still very interesting.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yes.
And that means Zero planned all this out. Even the sinking.
Yes.
That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yes. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been done, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that it was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
That thought made them all go quiet for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Juniper. Who else do I have in this game? Yes. June bit her lip while Lotus
Yes.
sighed softly at herself, and Santa cracked a stiff neck and stared off into the distance and nothing.
Yes.
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
June looked up at Junpei with large, pleading eyes. She's doing the pleading emoji. Yeah, you're right.
She looks like your Bitmoji right now in the corner.
True. Yeah, she's like peeking up. Ace's team might be back already.
Well, Junpei, and I should be able to open door 1. Huh? You guys leaving me behind? Well, he's got the chin now too.
8 plus 6 plus, they all do now. 8 plus 6 plus 5 equals 19. Which enters 1 plus 9, which equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1.
Just kidding. Alright, let's go.
Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed.
Wait, would Santa be allowed in?
Back to the large hospital room they went. I guess they're looking for Ace's team first. I wonder what Bro's up to.
That was a good one.
Thanks. The moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Welcome back.
Girl!
Yes.
I knew it. Hey,
Hey.
where the hell did you guys go?
Oh my bro is so mad. It was 7. Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back. It looked as though there was something strange about them. What's going on with them? 7 had the look of a man who'd seen a ghost. Ace was just as pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments away or from passing out entirely. For a long moment, they simply stood there, looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did. He looked at 7. What, happened?
What the hell kind of a question is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. 7 was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him hard. His shoulders were trembling, and his voice was strained.
Oh,
Snake was.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Snake is.
Oh, no. 7 couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by. Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is dead.
Oh,
He died, just as the 9th man did.
fuck. That's rough, man. There goes one of my characters. It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room.
I am once again left with the most. Let's fucking go.
Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken, and he realized he was having trouble breathing. That fucking sucks. Bro didn't get any character at all.
Yeah, he had
You
nothing.
feel cold sweat heading on his forehead and neck.
Ninth man had a better moment
You
than
think this is like a choice, or is like this like dead set?
No, this is definitely a choice. This is definitely a choice. Because remember, Joe already said that like we were on a entirely different route than him.
Right.
June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All three were frozen in place, their faces white. Oh god.
I hate
Really?
This music. This is so creepy.
This is the night that Snake has to die and I have Clover.
Oh my god. That's not true, is
This
it?
really good too, yeah.
We should make sure.
Yeah, right, we should. They nod to one another and headed for the number 3 door.
Wait! Not that way.
They stopped short and turned to look at 7. He was pointing at the door with no number.
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way.
Ooh, smarty.
It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
The shower room on the left side of the hallway. I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
What's up, man?
We can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Their new destination clear, Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. This music is fucking... Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the left wall. Yeah, it's fucking creepy. It hadn't been open when they'd been through it before. But now, just as 7 had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open. Nice! Good on 7, man. Bro's a savior. They looked at it for a moment, and stepped inside.
What the fuck? Someone commented on the video that uploaded 2 minutes ago.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
Fucking weirdo. No, I'm joking. We love you.
We love you. Anyway, back to the moment,
It smells horrible.
Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut. Okay, what does it matter if Santa did it?
Yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
It was just as bad as they said, perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. It was sour, it smelled of fish, feces, and burned meat.
Ew.
It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance to his stomach. He put his hands over his mouth and started to keep what little he was in his stomach where it belonged. There's a real.
Yeah, where'd that joke come from? I forget.
I did it once randomly in a Danganronpa park because of Toko.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't have to wonder where the body was. There was blood everywhere. A few arms, the splatter reaching towards them as they walked in through the door.
Long live
Yes,
Radio Ranger.
true. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to the source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider. June, you should stay here.
But
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright? He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on her shoulder as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole. The tent pole turned and walked towards the end of the divider. Sorry, that was an odd word. It felt like it took an eternity for him to get through. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually, they reached the divider. God, I just want to see the fucking body. They looked at one another and nodded slowly. Here it comes. And Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. There were moments he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. God dang! Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat on the blood like tiny islands on a great Red Sea. I love the description. A vast, ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti.
So, like, he got donutted without...
Yeah, he got fucking donutted.
Oh.
Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it.
Just like I said.
Santa's voice was strained. Junpei suspected he was holding down some vomit of his own.
Just like the ninth man. The detonator in his bracelet set off a bomb in his gut.
It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful.
What did this man do to
His legs were, literally, he did nothing. His legs were both bent to an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. Ugh. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to shatter the display, which lay on the ground in pieces. Half of his head had simply collapsed.
What?
What does that mean? The blood coating almost made it look like a raw pizza dough covered in tomato. Stop with this fucking food. I'm eating saltines. His clothes too are covered in blood.
The skin peeled off like saltines coming.
Yeah, like saltines coming out of the wrapper. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the gray slacks. They were all familiar to Junpei.
No mistake about that. It's Snake.
Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat.
Unlucky, man.
Unlucky.
L.
So unlucky. Massively unlucky.
Took the L.
How could they go from the elevator scene to that, bro? It's so messed up.
For real. This is the... What the fuck?
The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl.
I'm
It
wet.
sounded like the noise of a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time, it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover.
You can give the excuse that she's grieving to give her a deeper voice.
Yeah, literally. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping limitlessly to her chest. Or listlessly to her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room as nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered.
Not murder.
Chances are he was killed the same way the ninth man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each other, one of them in turn, and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open the door. 3.
Bro's got the whole plan.
Then they shoved him into it alone. And waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once the door shut, it was over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower. And then he was looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead.
Bro was so into his theory, now he just started going nuts.
And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in,
Wait, so he's making saying there's a traitor?
he went
Yeah, basically. He said in there was someone who pushed him in.
Wait,
and
so
made
why
him do that.
wouldn't the traitor blow up too?
Because they didn't go into the room with the dead.
That happened.
So they didn't have to do the challenge. I see.
Baba boy.
So that's what you mean by killers, huh?
Boy.
Boy. You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It won't open for Snake and a single killer. So he's probably a collaborator too.
Exactly.
Say it for me, Seven.
That means we're
Yeah.
looking at multiple burps here.
We got multiple perps on deck. Junpei crossed his arms and grunted. Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed that he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Didn't we not see Clover or Seven?
Yeah, we did not, until after.
Yeah. That means anybody could be a killer. The killer is among us.
Among us.
Oh, wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How can you say one of us is a killer so casually?
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least two of us are murderers.
Sheesh.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you gonna gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants you to know. That's what Zero wants, you know.
What? Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? And a game has a winner and a loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero's trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
You're here? Yes. That's why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship.
Oh, wise.
Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
He's using such big words.
You can really tell he's an old man. Does that mean that the person who killed Snake? Yes, almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone who we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have done... he would have killed Snake as well?
Junpei hadn't really considered that.
Why not?
If Zero had killed Snake, then Zero was on the ship with them. Was Zero still on the ship with them? Well, I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd assume so.
I mean, like, yeah, I think so, but, like, he could easily just be, like... And also, give that answer, then we can actually question more people, probably. He wasn't sure. Hey, I'm just wondering about one thing.
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on the ship? Ace's eyebrows shot up.
Really, Junpei? I confess, I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp.
We fucked up.
Isn't it obvious?
We fucked up. Bye, Snake. Obvious? How so?
We killed Snake. This ship.
Oh.
Zero said this ship several times when he addressed us.
I'm Zero, the captain of this ship. The purpose of this game is simple. Leave this ship alive. As you have no doubt surmised, this ship has begun to sink.
If he weren't here, he wouldn't say this ship, would he? He'd be saying something like that ship or the ship.
Oh.
I am the shit.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I don't think
His
that was
explanation made perfect sense. Junpei felt a little foolish that he hadn't seen it himself. Yeah, I don't think that makes a lot of sense.
We'll improv, you know.
It's very much a nitpick on his part. Still, he was left with a question, and it was one of no small importance.
I mean, like, it's either go based off of what Seven says, which is little information, or Ace, which is little information.
Yeah, it's a bunch of blaming. If Zero's on the ship, where is he?
The top deck, of course.
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. I was waiting for I was about to make that joke myself. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning noise. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared.
Clover.
Yeah, she's actually gonna say something. It was Clover. Looked at the floor and she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
She's got some like Hinako now.
I think Zero is one of us. Ooh!
It was the ninth
What?
man. It was the ninth man.
Every human body.
He faked his death.
Look at this.
And he did this, and then Clover's head blew off.
God.
Every human body on the room froze. The only sound was muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? No. Junpei. Sad. Well, that's great. I think that's like the most entertaining theory, so I think we should definitely go down.
That's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Well, that's possible.
Huh?
Yes.
Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us.
What are you saying, Jumpy? Did you hear what Ace said?
Dude, she's in love with him.
Exactly. I said we shouldn't suspect one another for no reason.
No reason? I've got a great reason.
And what's that?
Bracelets.
Bro, this is basically Chris versus everyone, huh?
Literally, he held out his left arm. Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets? You're all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere, watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control. If someone did something that they weren't supposed to do. It would be a lot more precise and a lot easier. But, if that's the case, then why is the bomb set off by the detonator in the bracelet?
Huh? You got a point.
I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the non-air game. All the puzzles here run by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them for the game to move forward. Why is that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that? Junpei let the question hang in the air and looked at the others. It was Sana who answered.
So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us. If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of all of us, or control anything remotely. That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah. Junpei nodded. 7, what we were talking about earlier. You said any one of us could be Snake's killer, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Alright then, I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like, Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, something like that. I can't think of any other explanation.
So, what do we get if we continue those? Or combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this? Whoever killed Snake equals Zero equals one of us.
Is this fucking algebra?
Algebra. Some of Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other quite well. At least they do if Zero is one of us. No one spoke. Their faces were grim, but Junpei wasn't sure if they believed him or not. Finally, Lotus spoke up.
Oh boy.
Finally a Lotus W, maybe?
What were his motives?
His motives?
Yes. Isn't that pretty important? Why would Zero want to hide as one of us?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty important. Well, that's because... Junpei choked. Aw, he choked. He hadn't thought of that, and he had to be honest with himself. He had no idea. Fuck. I, don't know. Lotus sighed.
Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei.
Fuck, he looks like an idiot.
In other words, you only had circumstantial evidence. 7.
I didn't really think that's enough to go on, you know.
Junpei was painfully aware of their eyes on him and their disapproval. He tried to find something else, anything else to look at. Just when he felt he could hear it no longer. Oh, the fucking clock again. Bing. They heard a bell begin to ring.
Oh, 3. It's 3 a.m.?
It's like 3, yeah. It was the clock at the central staircase. I think it's 3.
3 in the morning.
Yep.
That means we have 3 hours left.
It's gone nowhere.
Then we need to move, now. 7. Clover, Junpei. I know how you feel, but you understand that right now, it's important we trust one another, don't you?
Junpei couldn't bring himself to respond.
Ace is so cool.
He swallowed the words he wanted to say and sighed. 7 and Clover remained similarly silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going. Their next destination was Mercury.
Huh?
Oh? Going to Mercury? It sat bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen between the 2 elevators. The Mercury card reader. Junpei stood in front of it with the Mercury card key card. B-bar-B-bo-ba. 7 had given him the card. Oh.
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
Okay. At least that's what he said. Okay, hot stuff, sure.
Whatever you say, sexy.
Junpei slid the card through the reader. Cha-ching. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise. Bink. Now they were ready. Bing bong, bing bong. Junpei and June have been chosen as the investigators. The reasoning behind that, they had been to see Edek before, and no one else had. As before, Junpei sent to the elevator ahead to make sure the ford they were heading to wasn't flooded. As before, the elevator returned as dry as when it had left. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Me and baby girl going to investigate the Edek.
Me and my girl investigating the B-Deck.
There were only 2 forward buttons they could push. The C and bottom button. The rest were destroyed or did nothing when pushed. Junpei hit the bottom button. The bottom button. The door closed. Guy hit the C-Nash button. Slowly, it began to move downward. Sometime later, Junpei and June stepped off the elevator and onto the bottom deck. They stopped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end. But not a regular dead end.
This is a numbered door.
This is the 8th one we found. We need one more then. There were 2 numbered doors on B-Deck near the central staircase. And they were doors 4 and 5. And there were 3 more numbered doors in the large hospital room. There was 3, 7, and 8. I thought it was 6, 7, and 8. It found 6. Junpei and Juna found another door on E-Deck, and Lotus and Senna had found a 7th on A-Deck. Then there was a 6th door on the E-Deck. And a 1 on the door on the A-Deck. Now we got 2, 4, 5, 3, 7, 8, 6, 1. And now 2. And it stood in front of Junpei. There was only one thing it meant.
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door number 9. Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about it, that excitement that frightened him as well. He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C-Deck with June. Sorry, guys. That song's a banger. Alright, let's open these up. The places of piece of paper they folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. And there were 7 of them, all told. They were written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook, and each one had a code name and a door. Oh, they're all going to each door. Well, they decided to vote that way. They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors. Well, that wasn't the only reason. Junpei had proposed the voting system, and he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper. Open up. The first one read, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have the time for that. Sorry, man. Let's keep going. He opened the second one. He's such a nice old man. Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and piece of paper. Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2. Uh-oh, they're gonna fight?
Huh? Ooh, wait a minute. There's no way I'm going anywhere with that elephant man.
What the fuck? No.
Whoa.
No.
Really had to body shame him in that?
There'd be no point into voting if we let people change their choices because of a stuff like that.
But...
Shut the fuck up.
Just give it up, Lotus.
Yeah, you're going with me, girl.
It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist.
I'm not an exhibitionist.
Roasted.
I'm wearing clothes.
Barely.
True.
So? Last
You're
I
for
checked,
the
that's not a
streets.
crime. What
That
the
is.
fuck?
What did he say?
Maybe. But what about common decency?
My
Facts.
boobs
I don't
in
want your
face
big
are
old
decent.
titties out. Yeah, I want your big old titties.
Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
The
What the fuck?
fuck? I'm going to kill you, Zack Star. Oh,
my
shit.
Holy shit,
Oh
they're
hell no!
fucking
Lotus's hair floored out like the mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls. Lots of people the ace managed to restrain her. And then he copped a feel while he was at it, because that's what you do.
Junpei, read the rest.
Right. Jinbei tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper. He opened it. June wants door 6.
Yes.
Okay, you have to give it to her. She's looking at
I
that.
don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All the papers saw Junpei had been read. What does Junpei want? He did some quick calculations in his head. People who requested door 1, Ace plus Clover. This was a door on the A deck near the central staircase. People who requested door 2, 7 and Lotus. This was a door on the bottom deck, and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship. People who requested door 6, June. This was a door to E deck, and could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase down. It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke. Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through. Oh no. So we got door 1 with Ace and Clover, door 2 with 7 and Lotus, and door 6 with June and Santa.
I say we throw away door 1 only because Brian doesn't have a character.
Yeah, because, oh man, I hope Ace and Clover don't get fucked. I think door...
I think
I-
door 2 would be the funniest.
Door 2 would easily be the funniest.
Yeah, that would be pretty entertaining.
Door 6 is what, June Santa?
Yeah. So it's like...
We're gonna have to go through all these doors eventually. We want to get all the endings, but this definitely is gonna lead to one.
I think for our first playthrough we should do door 2.
I agree with the masses. Brian?
Go for it.
Alright, door 2 it is. I always got Junpei, so it don't matter. My choice is door 2.
With the half
Senna was
naked
unconvinced.
crazy.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
Cheating? Oh, because he didn't write it down.
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted. It's like, I'm tired.
No.
I'm not.
We did not just
I
completely base it off
totally.
food first.
Yeah. I totally did not want to not see June anymore. I love her.
I
She's
plead
so
the
cool.
fifth. I love her sex jokes and her yes. How could I do
Yes.
that, man? I wrote it down on the paper earlier. Look, you fucking idiot.
Let me see that.
Yeah, take a fucking look. Junpei struggled. Junpei struggled and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously.
There's
The
writing on
others
this
heard it
paper.
as well. Yeah, it has fucking. As they did, Junpei quickly slipped up the piece of paper he had been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never known it now, Senna had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei did cheat.
Oh my god.
Junpei had switched his paper. He had prepared 3 pieces of paper for doors 1, 2, and 6, and put the paper with door 6 onto the pot. Damn. Put a small mark on it so that he would know which one was his. He kept the 1 paper hidden in his left hand and the 2 paper hidden in his right. Then he just made sure he didn't read his paper until the end. The rest was easy. If he voted to go to door 1, he used his left hand, and his right hand if he wanted door 2. Wow, that's actually really smart. Of course, if he wanted door 6, that would be simple. All he needed to do was switch nothing, and say 6 had been what he wanted all along. Well, what does it say? He fought his urge to smirk. Bro is such a troll.
You got lucky.
Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside. Frustrated.
All right.
Let's go, mate.
All right.
Alright.
All right.
What happened to 7?
He probably got fucking disconnected
Hello?
again.
Hello?
Okay. All right.
So we know who's going through door 2. It'll be me, Lotus, and Junpei.
Yeah.
Jumpy.
7, 8, 5, 20. Let's go. Let's see.
The only problem is the other 2 teams.
I felt so much power in that silence.
June and I went door 6. Glover and I chose door 1.
That's not good.
I'm not with Jumpy.
Can't open either of those doors with only 2 people.
Oh, crud. No one has a solution. Everyone was silent. Sorry, guys. And Selma overspoke, her face blank and cold. Why don't Senna and June go into door 1 with Ace? They looked at one another. 3 plus 6 plus 1 equals 10, and then that equals 1. Finally, Ace spoke.
And what will you do, Clover?
I'll be waiting at the stairs. You guys are coming back here, right? That's what 7 was saying, wasn't it?
That had been what 7 said.
A German Hammer.
You ain't gonna split us up. Till we find that 9 door, 0 ain't gonna split us up. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again.
Fuck it. Imagine this game that had like the Lego voice acting.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Hey! Can't open door 9. That's how the Nanara game works.
Indeed, brother.
I'm sorry, but I just want to be by myself for a while.
Oh, I know.
Hey! You understand, right?
There were no emotion on her face, but it was drawn and pale,
Shut
and
the
her
fuck
eyes were red. What the hell? She lost her brother.
Your brother's dead, boo-hoo.
No one had the heart to contradict her. The room grew very quiet. Well, she's doing something for the team, so silence drifted down over everything like a blanket of fresh snow. It was Santa who finally spoke.
Alright,
Sweet.
I'm going through door 1. That alright with you, June?
June said nothing.
I
She
wanna
simply
go
nodded. No, I mean she's not coming with us. And just like that, their paths were set.
June and Santa are gonna.
It meant that Junpei would be away from so true. And that Junpei would be away from June for a while. But it had been his choice, and he would have to make his peace with it. Seven had said they'd all see one another again, and Junpei believed them. Ace, Senna, and June headed towards the central staircase in the number 1 door. Clover followed them. After seeing them off, Junpei, Seven, and Lotus stepped into the elevator behind them and descended into the bottom deck. Oh, crud. They stepped off the elevator and headed for door 2. One by one, they put their palms onto the recognition device, and 3 asterisks blinked to life on its screen. Ba-boop, ba-boop, ba-boop. Beep, boop. We got me with a half-naked raisin.
I can't believe you called me that.
It's true,
The door opened.
Grandma.
I'm not in the bills.
So life.
Sorry,
And that
I'm
way
not
left
in
inside.
gilfs.
Move, you're a gilf.
What the?
They left inside. Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead.
Move. Your age is in the way.
It had been placed just inside the room, right next to the numbered door. And they gathered around it and quickly scanned each of the bracelets. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Clunk.
Hey, he's gotta be like, we won. Lotus, let me see your titties.
Whoa.
Might as well just take him out at this point.
It stopped.
Yeah. It stopped.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against his inside of his ribs. Seven and Lotus were breathing hard and fast. It was the 3rd time they'd been through the process, but they had yet to grow accustomed to it. Not that Junpei wanted to. He planned to finish the game before he got a chance to let admitted death become commonplace. Junpei looked around again. It was a short hallway with 5 doors along the walls. There were 3 doors along the left wall. And a single one on the right. At the end of the hallway, the 5th door was covered by a thick metal plate. Junpei didn't think they'd be able to open it.
No.
After taking a long look around the room himself, Seven spoke.
Alright, let's get started. I think we'd probably better split up. You two okay with that?
You there?
Yes, no problem.
Sure thing. Seven nodded to them and stepped into the room closest to him. Bye, bro. Lotus looked at the doors for a moment and then headed for the one in the center. Saw big titties, need to see porn. At last, Junpei was left alone. Well, I guess I'd better get started too. He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. Control. Looks like it's the end of the episode. Looks like
Big puzzle in the next part.
this next part's probably like we probably like one more part and part after that for the final one.
I'd say like 1 or 2. Possibly
Yeah,
3.
that's what I'm thinking. And then we'll get the other endings, obviously.
Yes,
Most
sir.
likely to.
But still, thanks you for so much for watching. Sorry about my mommy coming in and yelling at me, and my daddy also yelling at me. 2-parter
Yeah.
today.
Two-parter
Duo.
today.
A W
W duo.
W marriage. But regardless, we'll see you guys in the next part.
Bye, guys.
Boy.